My name is Derek Lockhart, and this is set two of my Honors in Music Society midterm. Now, the two pieces that I had was Louis Armstrong's Hotter Than Hot and Bill Monroe's Uncle Pen. Now, for the time and location, we're going to go with Louis Armstrong's Hotter Than Hot first. Armstrong composed this song in Chicago in 1927. Now, the societal context in Chicago, obviously, and a traditionally urban area in the Roaring '20s. And next, I'm going to go into the musical language. The instrumentation of this piece is the cornet, piano, guitar, voice, trombone, banjo, and clarinet. Louis Armstrong is featured on the cornet, I believe. Yes. And next I had was jazz music, focus on the improvised solos. Also uses scat singing, or early introduction to scat singing before it became popular. But talk about that later on. Also, the scat was by Louis Armstrong. Now, the musical significance, I put this style of music is a prime example of the early popularity of scat singing performed by Armstrong. And two, this song or this scat solo introduced a swing feel of jazz away from the traditional band, which is kind of like the early forms of jazz. Now, my interpretation for this song adds to the legacy of Louis Armstrong from my perspective. This early form of scat singing is pretty revolutionary in the black community, as I've heard it in other genres of music before, something like that, a little bit in gospel, not something that is highly kind of like denoted in a sense because I wasn't familiar with what it was, but it almost imitates Maligmas? Nope. Maligmas might. Hopefully, I know what I'm talking about. But yes, let's move on. Now to the time and location for Bill Monroe's Uncle Pen. Monroe composed in Kentucky in 1950. Now the societal context is more so a rural influence, or in a rural area, and influence in the post World War II era. Now, the musical language for this was the instrumentation of this piece is the fiddle, violin, mandolin, the voices, and the guitar. And next I had was a folk music focus on the voice rather than the instruments, yet the instruments do play on their own. Now, the musical significance, this song adds to the legacy of Uncle Pen left in the region, and on music from the perspective of Bill Monroe, since Penn mentored him. Also, the significance of of culture and tradition as storytelling is very important in the context of the location, especially in an area like that, or folk genre music in general. Next, my interpretation. This music ties into the location in which it was made, the relation to area, which is predominantly in the Appalachian area, resonates some with our Georgia culture, kind of like that folk, kind of like that upbeat type of music is something that's represented kind of in Georgia. Music that's made in Georgia kind of has that same feeling in a sense, especially folk. So this is set two. Thank you.